May the peace of the Lord be with you all. Today's Gospel Reflection, August 11th, 2025, Monday.
Moses said to the people, "And now, Israel, what does the Lord, your God, ask of you? But to fear the Lord, your God, and follow his ways exactly, to love and serve the Lord, your God, with all your heart and all your soul, to keep the commandments and statutes of the Lord, which I enjoin on you today for your own good. Think, the heavens, even the highest heavens, belong to the Lord, your God, as well as the earth and everything on it. Yet in his love for your fathers, the Lord was so attached to them, as to choose you, their descendants, in preference to all other peoples, as indeed he has now done. Circumcise your hearts, therefore, and be no longer stiff-necked. For the Lord, your God, is the God of gods, the Lord of lords, the great God, mighty and awesome, who has no favorites, accepts no bribes, who executes justice for the orphan and the widow, and befriends the alien, feeding and clothing him. So you too must befriend the alien, for you were once aliens yourselves in the land of Egypt. The Lord, your God, shall you fear, and him shall you serve. Hold fast to him and swear by his name. He is your glory, he, your God, who has done for you those great and terrible things, which your own eyes have seen. Your ancestors went down to Egypt 70 strong, and now the Lord, your God, has made you as numerous as the stars of the sky. Responsorial Psalm. Praise the Lord, Jerusalem. Glorify the Lord, O Jerusalem. Praise your God, O Zion, for he has strengthened the bars of your gates. He has blessed your children within you. Praise the Lord, Jerusalem. He has granted peace in your borders. With the best of wheat he fills you. He sends forth his command to the earth. Swiftly runs his word. Praise the Lord, Jerusalem. He has proclaimed his word to Jacob, his statutes and his ordinances to Israel. He has not done thus for any other nation. His ordinances he has not made known to them. Alleluia. Praise the Lord, Jerusalem.
The Holy Gospel according to Matthew. As Jesus and his disciples were gathering in Galilee, Jesus said to them, "The Son of Man is to be handed over to men, and they will kill him, and he will be raised on the third day." And they were overwhelmed with grief. When they came to Capernaum, the collectors of the temple tax approached Peter and said, "Does not your teacher pay the temple tax?" "Yes," he said. When he came into the house, before he had time to speak, Jesus asked him, "What is your opinion, Simon? From whom do the kings of the earth take tolls or census tax? From their subjects or from foreigners?" When he said, "From foreigners," Jesus said to him, "Then the subjects are exempt, but that we may not offend them, go to the sea, drop in a hook, and take the first fish that comes up. Open its mouth and you will find a coin worth twice the temple tax. Give that to them for me and for you." The Gospel of the Lord. Reflection. In the latter part of Matthew 17, we find instances in life when the most powerful lessons come from the quiet, almost hidden parts of a story. It happens just after Jesus has told his disciples about his coming suffering and death, something they struggled to understand. But before they can process the weight of that message, another situation arises, something that feels small and almost trivial. In comparison, a tax collector approaches Peter, asking whether Jesus pays the temple tax. At first glance, this scene may seem unimportant, but it offers a profound teaching. Here is Jesus, the very Son of God, King of kings and Lord of lords. Yet he chooses to fulfill a human obligation, not because he has to, but to avoid offending others. He sends Peter to do something extraordinary to fulfill this obligation in a peaceful and miraculous way, by catching a fish with a coin in its mouth, enough to cover the tax for both of them. It's a subtle yet powerful story about humility, trust, and being responsible citizens of both heaven and earth. This story speaks to anyone who has ever faced a situation where doing the right thing isn't about being right, but but about maintaining peace and harmony. Jesus didn't argue his divine exemption. He didn't stage a protest or declare his authority. Instead, he quietly honored a custom, not for his sake, but for the sake of others. This kind of humility is rare, especially in a world where people feel they must prove themselves, defend their positions, or assert their rights. But Jesus models a different way, one that balances truth with love, rights with responsibility at the same time. Jesus doesn't just give in to the world's systems without a reminder of who he is. The way he tells Peter to find the coin shows that even in the most ordinary duties, God's provision is extraordinary. A coin inside a fish is not just a random miracle. It's a statement that even in small things, God is present, guiding, and providing. When we are faithful to God's calling even in the seemingly minor matters, he makes a way. Often in the most unexpected forms, this story encourages us to live with both eyes open, one fixed on heaven, the other aware of the responsibilities we carry here on earth. We are called not only to be people of conviction, but also people of compassion. Faith is not only about grand gestures and loud declarations. Sometimes it is shown most beautifully in quiet obedience, in going the extra mile to be considerate, and in trusting that God sees even our smallest acts of responsibility. Think of how many times we wrestle with situations where we feel misunderstood or falsely expected to conform. There are moments when our pride says, "I don't owe this to anyone," or "I shouldn't have to do this." But this story from Matthew invites us to look at things differently. It's not always about what we deserve or what we're entitled to. Sometimes it's about what brings peace, what reflects love, and what honors God even in mundane matters. In our world today, where everyone seems to be asserting their position and fighting to be heard, may we remember the quiet strength of Christ, his willingness to yield without losing his identity, and his trust in the Father's unseen provision. So if you find yourself in a situation where you're asked to do something you feel isn't your obligation, pause and ask, will doing this foster peace? Will it open doors for witness rather than close hearts in conflict? If so, then walk in faith, not begrudgingly, but with the confident hope that even in this kind of situation, God is at work, and he will provide in ways you never expected. Faithfulness is found not just in the big sacrifices, but in the small moments when we choose love, humility, and trust over pride.